Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life. So what does food mean to you? Well, today I'd like to share a recipe. It's actually one of my favorite recipes for a torte de noche, which is a nut torte. And with that, I'd like to share an excerpt from my latest book. It's called The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, Diaries, Seasons. And this excerpt, that book is divided into, they're actually diary segments that I had written while I was living in Italy. So they're kind of segments out of my diary or entries from my diary while I was living in Italy, creating the Basic Art of Italian Cooking TV series and book series. And so the book is written kind of like diary entries and blog posts. And this diary entry starts out titled, "What to Do on a Snowy Day in the Sleepy Mountains of Italy. Read poetry by Leonardo da Vinci and make a deliciously simple nut and fruit torte. 2 large baskets of walnuts have been waiting for me at my farm here to use, picked in late fall in the mountains of Abruzzo. They are known as noci di Sorrento in Italy, but we call them walnuts in English. I found this simple, delicious dessert at a holiday dinner this past Christmas. It's the best way to make use of them. I have been enjoying this delicious torte for dessert this past week and need another for tonight's dinner." Here's the recipe for torte de noche, or nut torte. 1 1/3 cup of flour sifted, and you can use gluten-free flour if you would like. 3/4 cup of sugar or a sugar substitute. 3 cups combined of walnuts, hazelnuts, and almonds, preferably 1 cup of each of those nuts. 1/4 cup of raisins or dried cranberries. Let them sit in warm water for 15 minutes, or you can mix 1/8 cup of raisins and dried cranberry, 1/8 cup of dried cranberries. 3 eggs, and 1/4 cup or about 8 ounces of unsweetened baking chocolate. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees. In a bowl, place in the sifted flour and sugar, then add the eggs one at a time, then blend that together. Then add in by hand the nuts in whole pieces and the raisins or cranberries that have been drained. Melt the chocolate in a double boiler and stir in. When well blended, place in an 8-inch pan that has been covered with parchment paper. Bake for 40 to 50 minutes or until firm. Remove from the oven, then remove from the pan by picking up the ends of the parchment paper. Let cool and serve. Here's the poem by Leonardo da Vinci, or the poetry by Leonardo da Vinci. And this happens to be a poem that was translated especially for my book, The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, Da Vinci Style. It was found in Da Vinci's notebook and written in Old Italian, and it was translated for me for my book. Carried high above the trees, the nut slipped. Oh, I forgot. This poem is titled "Never Trust a Nut" by Leonardo da Vinci. Carried high above the trees, the nut slipped from the mortal grip of a bird's beak. Whoosh, it fell. Pop, clunk, it hit and landed between 2 ancient bricks. The little nut prayed a little nut's prayer to the wall that cradled and held him there. My Savior, your bells have God's grace. Your walls are so mighty, let me stay in this place. Protect me and keep me from the fat ground below, from the fallen leaves and the harbinger's hoe. I vow to you, please spare me this doom, and content until death I shall live in this room. Moved by compassion, the wall said, "Okay, where you have fallen, young nut can stay." In a short time, the nut split in 2. His roots snaked the walls and weakened its glue. His shoots shot right out of that little black hole and covered the bell whose praises he told. The nut's twisted roots grew thicker and tore at each ancient stone from the wall where he bore. Stricken with grief, the wall bewailed its state and soon fell apart, for it was too late. For more great recipes and more poems by Leonardo da Vinci, you can get your copy of The Basic Art of Italian Cooking, Da Vinci Style, and you can get that at marialiberati.com and artoflivingprimamedia.com and on Amazon and Kindle as well. Thanks for listening to the Maria Liberati Show, and thanks to my producer, Britton Roselle. And again, a special reminder for my 4-course Italian-themed wine pairing dinner at the beautiful Ridgewood Winery in Bechtelsville, Pennsylvania. And you can enjoy that 4-course wine pairing dinner with their award-winning wines. You can register for the event at eventbrite.com. And my podcast listeners can enter in the code food and wine with the number 5. And once you do, you'll get a special discount for the event. And that's only for my podcast listeners. So that's Food and Wine 5. And you can also find me at marialiberati.com, on Facebook at Chef Maria Liberati, on Twitter at Maria Liberati, on Instagram at Maria Liberati, on the Basic Art of Italian Cooking by Maria Liberati channel on Roku, the Maria Liberati Show channel on YouTube, and on Vimeo, the Maria Liberati channel. And let's see, you can also find my book series on artoflivingprimamedia.com, and on Pinterest, you can find me at Maria Liberati. And until next week, peace, love, and pasta.